Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next one. We're gonna do a dwarf town or city. We'll just do an upgrade. So this one we're gonna add a little bit more, and might want to go with a different theme. You don't want to maybe go with green. We might want to go with something different. Now, when I think of a dwarf, I kind of think of, we've got the axes here. So maybe they've cut down some trees. There's not going to maybe be a lot of green, or maybe we want to put a mountain with a mine or a cave entrance that leads inward. It doesn't actually show because the town is actually inside a mountain, or you can just take like a dirty brown hill and go with that instead, and then put some kind of like tower and then maybe some small buildings around it. You can use a volcano if you want. You could make it like a pit like this and just say that this is like a mining town like this. You can choose which one works best for you. You can do this one or this one. And I'm also might want to transform. So one thing I notice about this is that there's not a lot of room to put anything on this. So if I go to advanced settings, go to transform and change the height, I can make it a little bit taller, and there's a little bit more room now that I can put some stuff on top of that. So that first step, let's just say it's a mining town, right? We're just gonna do a selection, but I will be finishing the whole thing. So someone asked, will I be doing this the whole time? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be creating a whole bunch of them. And I highly doubt we're going to have enough time to do all 40 of them. But I'm going to show you at least each one, a village all the way to a wonder. And if you want, and I'll leave it up to you guys, we can do a part 2 and a part 3 and a part 4 if this is a project that you're interested in. If not, then we won't do another one continuing this, and I'll just continue these off stream, offline, and just add it to my profile, and then you can go over them. So I'll let you all decide on what works best for you. If you prefer that I just do this as a series, or I'll do all of them the rest of them off screen. So I'll let you guys decide that. Just go ahead and decide in the chat if that's something you're interested in. Okay, more parts. Oh, I like it. So now we're making a mining town. This is a dwarven mining town. Kind of makes sense. Dwarves are, they work in like mines and stuff like that. So it only makes sense to kind of create a mining town. So we'll go back into that catalog, O key, F key to open up the catalog. And we'll look at what kind of options we have. So there's a whole bunch of things that can be done. We can put like a whole bunch of, maybe a little bit of buildings around the rim. Or just dead trees circling the rim, and then the actual town is below, or we can make the town above. Let's just check out what our dwarven buildings are for options first. So we have these nice dwarven buildings. Now it's just a town. We don't have to go extravagant with huge, massive structures. We just have to go with something small. So let's figure out how we want to do that. Let's go with maybe making part of it. Let's just make everything on the outside instead. So I'm going to use these kind of small dwarven kind of buildings. I'm going to put a couple of them on the rim of the crater. So we'll put one here, and let's make sure it's set to the right layer so it's on top like this. And I'm also going to make sure the line work is good. If I put it right here, you'll notice that it's kind of looks like it's kind of gone into the crater. So just be very careful about when you place these so that you kind of see where it is. There should be a couple more. I think there's 3 total. So we'll go back into the catalog. Here's a front facing one, and we'll put that one maybe like there, like that. And then there should be another one, I think, right here. And I'm going to go ahead and flip. So flip horizontally like this, so that there's one on the side like this. And I'm going to flip it again, and then put another one maybe over here somewhere, or over here. I could maybe flip it one more time and just put one right here. So it's just a couple of them. This looks like it's falling off, so let's put one right here so they're to the side. Okay, and then we want to create maybe a central piece with something in the center to kind of represent something. So we can maybe use a different building, like this red one right here, kind of small, and just say that this is maybe where a storage is or something like that. So you have this nice piece in the center that's different. It has a red roof. It's different from these other structures, and it stays kind of small. All right. Now, because it's a mining town, I kind of expect trees to be cut in the surrounding area or to be dead because the dwarves are using the wood from the trees or whatever to do part of their mining operations, right? You're going to need some kind of timber or lumber to create your structures and to use. So let's go ahead and pick dead trees. There's no stumps that I know of, though there are tricks that we can do. But since there are none, let's just go with these dead trees right here. They're not really my favorite. They're kind of bright. We might want to make some changes with them. Let's place one down and just see how it looks first. They do seem super bright to me, so I might want to maybe do some changes. Introduce you to the HSBC. You can go ahead and drop the brightness. You can change the contrast if you want. You can still drop the brightness. There's even a hue and kind of saturation. You can kind of change those to what you want. You can boost the saturation. You can drop the saturation. A lot of different things. HSBC is something that I use to make the stamps more compatible with the scene and with the other stamps that I'm working with. So that's what HSB is really there for. So I'm just going to use the HSBC, change these trees, and I'm going to add a bunch. And as always, I like to overlap. So I want to put some in front of the buildings, some of them hanging or right in front or by the crater, some in the back, right here like this. Just place a couple big ones. Let's drop the scale down and just add some smaller ones like this. I'm going to put some in the back. I want to do it like this, couple here. And then let me just zoom out real quick and just see how the general composition looks. And I'm okay with that. That looks pretty okay to me. And I'm not going to add any bit more to this because, again, this is just a simple town. We can, with our next one, we'll really, really bump it up and make it more interesting. Now, again, we'll apply a texture just because I think it'd be nice to add one in. So we'll go over and look at our texture options. There's this nice grass texture here. You'll see there's some nice artifacts in there, and that will kind of match with some of the painting that's done here. So let's apply it and just see how it looks. Oopsie, make sure to set to that BG layer. Press that 2 key to switch right over to BG. And overall, I'd say this texture looks okay. It blends in fairly well. If you're ever having a hard time with a hill or a crater or whatever, or a mountain blending in with a texture, don't forget that you can go to blend modes and change it. So let me click that crater again, go to normal, and then go to blend mode. And you'll see that I've changed the crater, and it's going to match whatever color or texture underneath, right? See, now you'll notice it's green, right? Because luminosity takes whatever color or texture that the stamp is beneath and then adds it or blends it in. So that is one trick that you can use to make sure that your stamp actually blends in. And if it feels like it's too light or dark, there is a dropping the brightness up and down. Let me just change that luminosity real quick again. So it's back to luminosity, and you can change the brightness to make it match with the texture even more. So that brightness slider and the luminosity blend mode are absolute saviors that are going to help you, okay? Really, really help. Hey, send them around.